we go. Is it working? Everything working? Can you hear us? Let us know if you can hear us. Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? Oh, it's going to be a short one tonight. We're going to get right into it. We're on our way home from seeing our new grandson. What a blessing, y'all. Cherish your family. Bring them closer to you. Build those bonds. I don't know what happened around here in America. Not every family is suffering from it, but a lot of them are. All right, we're glad to see you guys here tonight. We're going to get into this information pretty quick. It's going to be a fast and furious show. Oh, we're getting notifications everywhere. That's good. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up because that'll help get out notifications to other folks. And we'll get this on here. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to hit that thumbs up on this one here. Thumbs up. Only 161 thumbs up. And we are in the fight of our life. Here we go. And I took down a post. I put up a little post a little bit ago about 18,000 cows being whacked. That was from, I think, last year or year before. Okay, but I'm just trying to show you guys the pattern. That was 18,000 cows. And this week we're going to talk about a little bit more food pressure. We're going to talk about, just some other kind of crazy stuff. So hopefully you're paying attention. Stacy's going to be right with us, and we're going to get right into it. Because there's nothing to it but to do it. All right, you guys ready?
No, they're not ready.
They are. They're waiting on the star of the show. Waiting on the star of the show. If this will help. Put that down. Yeah, I think it did. That'll probably help. Hi, Molly.
Ooh, is that kind of bright?
Yeah, it's good. You got to squeeze in a little better.
I'm coming over here. Hello, everyone.
All right.
All right, so let's see.
So, like on these Sunday night shows, this is our live show in case you're new around here. Stacy and I are going to, we just talk a lot about what's going on up front, and then after that, we'd like hang out and talk with you guys. Tonight's going to be pretty quick, though. We're going to talk about this study that a doctor put out, and he's been following this stuff for quite a while. And we'll let you guys decide. He's been following this stuff for quite a while. We'll let you guys decide.
Why is it not going down?
Because you're stressing and not putting the right button. There you go. And what happens is he's been following this stuff for quite a while, and Stacy and I have been, actually drinking it for quite a while, and so we could tell you some things about how we're doing with it or whatever, and then we'll talk about all the benefits and everything, and we're just going to get right into it, right?
Well, I think what's going on with everyone?
Not so much.
I think you can wait a couple minutes before.
Not really.
Well,
Everyone
here I want
wants
to
to
say.
get right into the information. People want to come for that information.
Yeah, but Mayhem Beating says he's from Central Wyoming. Heads up about East Idaho. Water has been cut off to farmers in 6 districts who have crops planted.
Yes, I've heard this.
Have you?
Yes. Y'all, if you better hope you're ready to fight for your freedoms, because freedom is not free. Okay? One thing you guys got to understand. Good times make weak men make bad times. It's a vicious cycle, but that's what's going to happen. So we're just trying to give you guys all the tools that you can use and that we find out that works good for us. We've lived off-grid for more than half of the time we've been married. We've been married 25 years. We've lived off-grid, no public utilities, doing our own growing and rain catching and pooping in buckets and all this stuff, right, for 15 plus years. And we share a lot of this information for free with you guys on YouTube so we can show you what's worked for us, how we're doing. She's in her 60s, I'm in my mid 50s, and we're healthy, we're vibrant, we don't go to, pharma or nothing, we don't have doctors, and we just want to share our information with you guys. And we're going to get right into this information because we found it very interesting. You want to just start off with the doctor?
Well, first, let's do a shout out to Tiki2440.
Tiki2440! All right.
And Mary, the stone we have is called Shungite.
Shungite.
Yes, Shungite. Shungite.
Now, this is Dr. William Lee.
Lee, L-I.
L-I, yes. And I'll have him on deck here for you in 2 seconds.
We're going to listen real quick to this.
All right. I'm going to cue it up.
Because this is something kind of exciting. I think it's kind of cool.
Okay, and we are not doctors. We don't play one on YouTube. Again, we're only showing you guys what's worked good for us, and we share this information with you guys on here. Most of the time, you know, all the time really, we have it backed up with, you know, some science, if you will, or even some medical doctors, and we just want to share our information with you guys. So Dr. William Lee on chocolate. Oh.
Anthocyanidins and catechins, and we all know that these bioactives in chocolate activate our body's self-defenses, and they can actually activate our metabolism as well. Now, one of the things that chocolate does is it's definitely good for the circulation. Helps protect the lining of our blood vessels, and studies have shown in humans that the high polyphenol chocolates can increase stem cells in your blood vessels that can help you regenerate. And that's actually good for the heart, for the brain, healthy aging, the whole shebang. The metabolism part is a little bit more complicated because it's very difficult to separate the polyphenols in dark chocolate from the sugar that actually comes in chocolate. Now, even this dark chocolate, actually, this cacao, has a bit of sugar in it. Got to be careful with having added sugar. But I wanted to talk about this as something that I'm actually going through right now. It's cold. I wanted something warming. Didn't want coffee. I had tea already. So I just wanted to actually share with you another way of actually getting down some hot chocolate in the middle of a cool afternoon. Now, the other interesting thing that you should know about is that dark chocolate has been studied in the lab, and it does slow down in the lab the process of muscle aging. You know how as you get older, muscles start to kind of break down and atrophy, and one of the things that you don't want to do is you want to lose muscle mass. And so dark chocolate, in studies, those bioactives slow that process down. So it kind of extends the sort of the youthfulness, vitality of your skeletal muscle. That's the stuff that we work out with and we need to walk around. So, if you like what you're hearing,
see that?
And then do one more. I want to do the other one that you have about the stem cells.
All right, let me see if I can find this other one for you guys. I don't know where that's going to queue up at.
That was ready to go. Watch one more real quick because this is so cool.
We want you guys to have the info. This is info that you may not ever run across, but we're exposing you to it. And now you can't say you haven't heard it.
Don't forget to include dark chocolate on your healthy food list. Studies have shown that dark chocolate can lower stress, protect your circulation, and even regenerate your organs. So have a bite of dark chocolate with your morning coffee or for a snack. And always look for 80% or higher cacao. For more food and health tips, visit my website.
All right, that wasn't it, but go ahead.
So basically, Dr. William Lee, it's L-I, you can look it up. You can look up the study that he did with ingesting 2 cups of hot cocoa a day. And what it did is it basically helped double the amount of stem cells in your blood.
Stem cells.
They compared it to like a lower flavanol chocolate and the ones that had the higher flavanols in them, and found that those people that ingested the higher flavanol chocolate had double the amount of stem cells. And then he was talking about aging, and then you can find a bunch of videos about him. You guys go ahead and do your research on all this chocolate stuff. But I just thought it was very fascinating to listen to him, and he had a lot of good information. He's been talking about it for years. And I know everyone heard all the studies about, you know, little chocolate's good, but you got to look at your source, just like anything else. You know, we can say that, you know, having meat is good, but if you're getting meat from these, you know, industrialized, you know, CAFOs where they're all cooped up and they're in bad conditions compared to a grass-fed cow living out on pasture, you know, you need to look at the sources that you're getting your chocolate from too. So we'll talk about it a little bit more. I might give you some ideas of some better chocolate brands.
We're going to talk about the oxalates. We're going to talk about all the stuff you guys are talking about.
The heavy metals and all that kind of stuff.
Because when you hear this stuff break loose, you'll understand it a little better. There's 2 sides to every story. And what I was going to say is that you guys are paying, there's people that pay a lot of money to get stem cells in them.
Well, people get them injected for
Yes.
hips
So
and all
you can
that,
actually
and
have the
shoulders.
good chocolate and then get it for yourself. And remember, like she said, everything is about the input. So make sure you're getting it from a good source.
Now, what did
We'll
I
take
do?
this moment to talk about our chocolate tea at
Just wait.
offbeerwithdougandstacy.com. You guys could get yourself the cacao shell, not the nibs, and we're going to talk about why that's different and important, to make your chocolate tea at home. We ship this all over the place, and you're welcome to get some offbeerwithdougandstacy.com on the shop tab. Back to our regularly scheduled program.
All right, so a lot of people get confused when you talk about cacao and you talk about cocoa. Because you'll see it sometimes, it's like cocoa powder, cacao powder. I'm like, what is going on? So generally, they say if it says cacao, C-A-C-O-A, it's the raw unprocessed part of it. So you could have raw cacao nibs, which are like little pieces of chocolate that have not been processed. It could be raw cacao powder. Or sometimes in your chocolate bars that you get, it might say made with raw cacao. Generally, when you look at the cocoa, it's after you grind it up. So some people might just call it cocoa when it's been ground up, but some people may not. They may call it, cacao powder. But you want to look at it, it may say organic, it may say from raw, you can read some of the labeling. You have to be careful with some of these more commercialized, I guess, companies that have it with the cocoa powder. They'll put, maybe milk in it, maybe. They may put some sugars in it. And so when you look at cocoa, it might have a bunch of other junk. It may have natural flavors, a lot of additives. So you want to make sure if you're going to get cocoa or cacao, it's going to be that's all it is. Okay. And you can read, maybe where it's from, if it's from, more, what's the word I want to say?
I don't know. They're asking where we source ours. Our source is from Hawaii, so it's made in America. How about that?
Well, and then
and we also get it. Hold on now. Okay. We also get it from a few other places, but all of
farmers.
Our stuff is direct trade. Treated well and by family type farms.
Yes.
Okay?
So it's just direct trade from that farmer to us.
And
so it could be from Tanzania or certain countries.
We're doing good tonight.
Yeah. So it's just direct trade from the single farmer, so they know exactly where it comes from.
Yes, and also I want to express to you guys that Stacy and we've tried the powder. We didn't really care for it. We've tried the other stuff too, but when we were introduced to the hulls, it made such an impact or impression on us that's why we started selling it at the Missouri Tea Company. Right. Right.
Yeah. Because
back to your studies.
Yeah. Okay. So. When you look at what you're getting, just make sure it's from the most natural form. I'm going to give you some examples of the cocoa powder because the thing is a lot of people do like a little sweet treat here and there. So looking at your source does kind of help. What you're getting. If you want a little piece of chocolate, just like anything else, everyone's like, oh, this is good for me. Like we know someone who's like, this is great. And they just buy bar after bar after bar of chocolate, dark chocolate. They're doing Hershey's dark chocolate, which isn't the best type to get. And they're doing lots of it. So, it's not like you want to, if something's good for you, don't do a lot of it. It's just like if you want a little piece or something, or in the morning, Doug and I might have a cup of chocolate tea and that's it. So look at that.
Just remember, everything is in moderation. We know someone who got hooked on colloidal silver.
Okay, you don't need to talk
and
about
he actually turned purple. I do need to talk about it. So just make sure that you're being very careful. You don't want to have it all the time thinking that having more of it makes it healthier.
Okay, so when you look at cocoa powder, and you look at things that are in it like polyphenols, you have magnesium, you have a lot of really good things in it that are helpful for you.
Yes.
And you've also heard over the past couple years possibly that it's high in heavy metals. Chocolate is from lead or cadmium. It's not. It's from, what it's pulling from the ground. And chocolate is a fruit. And it pulls it up into the fruit itself. So depending on, and it doesn't have it, some of it may contribute to how it's processed, like these mass production companies that do a lot of chocolate maybe at the end, maybe some of the lead could be from the equipment or from the exhaust fans or something like that. But generally, it's from the earth that you're getting the heavy metals from. There's some brands that are much, much, much less, and there's some that are much, much, much higher. And I want you also to listen to this because there's always two sides to the stories. So if you look at chocolate and you look at the polyphenols, they do say that it may help with the absorption. So they help prevent it from absorbing so much in your digestive tract. So the chocolate itself kind of is protective when you're eating it to kind of protect from the absorption of that also. And then here, what else was I going to say? And then I was reading, it says that the cocoa also contains flavonoids that can neutralize the free radicals and chelate metals and inhibit enzymes, which I think is pretty cool. So when you look at dark chocolate, Dr. Lee, L.I., Dr. William Lee, L.I., was talking about it needs to be 80% of the cacao. A lot of people don't like chocolate. You know, they want it much less, but there's a lot more milk and a lot more sugar and a lot more junk in it. So if you are going to do chocolate, you know, make sure that you're getting a little higher. And I want to go over, I was kind of doing some research before I started this because everyone wants to know, well, what kind of chocolate? What's good? Which one has heavy metals in it? Which one doesn't have heavy metals in it?
This is the good thing about doing this stuff with you guys because we're able to audit what we're doing, right? Because, you know, I'm just the end user and Stacy's in charge of picking it up. And so she was picking up some stuff that she thought was good, but she's going to share with you guys what we found out just because we're trying to bring you guys the good, relevant information that's legit. And now here we are having to make changes.
So these are candy bars, in what we're talking to. But in the study that Dr. Lee did, he was talking about drinking the chocolate. So we have our chocolate tea, but then also if you get a good cocoa powder, I'm going to give you some better brands. If you do want to make a little cup of hot chocolate, you could use water or you could use raw milk, you know, or just make it if you have coconut.
Did you say raw milk?
Yeah.
Oh, go on then.
Yeah,
That's
he's got a good thing to talk about that.
I mean, I can't believe you're doing that. Don't be promoting no raw
Or
milk.
you could do your cocoa with, you know, coconut cream or coconut milk. So you could do it a lot of different ways, and it would taste delicious if you want a little sweet treat. So Theo, Theo, which is, it seems like a really good, you know, natural brand. That one was really, really high in heavy metals. The Trader Joe's Dark Bar, that was 85% cacao, which I was a little shocked on that one.
These are the
these
not
are
to
high.
gets.
These are
Yeah,
really
these
high.
are not to gets, and that's the one she was getting was that Trader
Well,
Joe's.
I think mine was the organic one.
Could
They
be.
have open that up and see if it's still in there.
Don't get busted now.
Yeah, I don't know.
National
See,
TV
what's
here.
there? Is there a Trader Joe's one in there? It's
It's
right there.
Trader Joe's,
that's a different
fair
one.
trade, organic cacao, Belgian dark chocolate, intense.
So that one,
full-bodied
yeah,
dark
that one,
chocolate.
but that's not 80. It's upper. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. So
So 80 or higher.
80, yeah, 80 or higher. Lily's, Lilys. Lily's has, they sweeten it, I think, with stevia. The extremely dark, 85% was really high too. And then the green and black label, that was the organic dark chocolate, 70%. That was another one. So Theo, Trader Joe's dark, 85%. Lily's, 85%. Green and black, 70%. Those all were really, really high. So I will not be buying any of those. So now it was talking about ones that were lowest. Some of these you may have heard of, some of you may not. So the best one that got the best marks was Mast, M-A-S-T. And that was dark chocolate at 80%. And it was the cleanest of all of them for everything. M-A-S-T. So if you can find those online or find them somewhere. And the other one that was pretty good was Taza, T-A-Z-A, Taza. And that was 70%. But we went higher because it's better for you. And then I was kind of shocked about this one, but the Ghirardelli, the intense dark, and then their other one, there was one that's 86%. That was pretty good. And then the 72% one was pretty good. So I know a lot of you guys are going whoop whoop on that one. And then they had another one that was pretty good. And I've never heard of this one. It was Varhana, V-A-I-R-H-O-N-A, Varhana. And they said that one was pretty good too.
But that is for the Viking folk.
Yes.
Varhana.
Now, Where did I write my other stuff?
I don't know, but this is
Oh,
also
here.
a plug for the Missouri Tea Company to get your chocolate tea. We've been drinking this for a couple of years now and also making it available to the public. You know, before we actually stumbled across this, I'd never seen this stuff before. And if you actually steep it properly and then put in a little dash of maple syrup, I would stay away from sugars and stuff like the good doc said, making it any kind of sweeter. Just a dash of the honey or maple syrup is just a natural thing, but I wouldn't put like sugar or anything.
Well, if you had a good source, you know, if you could put a little sucanate in there.
Sucanate,
yeah.
you like
but it's
that?
not. Don't do. You know, like a half a cup or anything.
White
of
sugar or something.
Yeah. All right. So just real quick, I'm going to give you some brands that were pretty good, that have high flavanol cocoa in them, and a few of the brands are Navitas, Navitas. It's organic cacao powder. And then also there was Better Body, organic cocoa powder, Better Body. Viva Naturals was another one. Cocoa Via, organic cocoa powder or cacao powder. And there's a Flavamix, Flava Flavamix, the cocoa powder or cacao powder. These were the ones that were the highest in the flavanols. So also, like with our chocolate tea, you know, we drink, it's so funny. So like I like to let it steep for a little bit. Like if you have like a thermal mug, you can keep it in there and let it steep. It'll stay warm. And then we just put a little maple syrup on it, and it's so good.
Can you smell it?
It smells really good.
It's like chocolate smell, man.
So this is very unprocessed. It's just basically after the hulls have been roasted, just like in coffee. And then they take the nibs out, and this is what's kind of a byproduct of it, and it makes really delicious chocolate tea.
And they do say that a lot of your bad things that you were concerned about come from the processing of the nib.
No, well, no, it's from the plant itself.
Yeah, and the processing it said, remember?
No, it was just generally the lead might be part of it. I said it might
I
be
just
a little
said
bit
some of
it.
that stuff, and we
be.
were doing our surveys. I mean, our studies. I was sitting right with you. It said that it was in the processing of the nibs. That's where a lot of that comes in at.
So, you guys do your research on your chocolate. I know a lot of people got freaked out when all that stuff came out about the heavy metals. But what I really thought was very interesting is how a lot of the foods that we have, you know, that are high in flavanols and polyphenols and all these wonderful things that good foods have can help protect you from certain things. And so
This is the one she has, but we're just, you know, it's only 72%. But it is organic.
And a lot of people will say anywhere from 70, 75, 80, 85, 90. You know, I mean, if that's all you can get, have a little piece of it.
Then just quit.
Yeah.
But like, it's just like Manuka honey too, right? Like the higher the number, the better it is for you. A lot of things, you know, again, this is kind of, again, you know, we're kind of hovering around in case you missed the underlying thing here is that's provided for by Yah, right? By the Most High, by God, okay? And he gives it to us to be food for us and medicine for us, right? And so here we're trying to show you guys, like through these videos that we do with you guys on Sundays and during the week and stuff, that it actually is true. And that's why man is ripping it off and synthesizing it and patenting it and putting it into a pill and selling it to you, okay? And then that's how they're making their silly money, right? But we're supposed to lean on what he has given us. It's right there in your scriptures. Just, I encourage you guys all to grow and use food as your medicine as much as you possibly can. You should see us hunting down. We ran out of these bottles on the trip. You should see us going around to these stations and stores and wherever to get this glass bottle so we're not having it in plastic, just like we, you know, explained to you guys last week.
So Bluebird Grandma says, Dr. Lee, L.I., Dr. Lee.
L.I..
And you can follow him on Facebook.
Please
He's got a
do.
really good
And he's on
Facebook page.
YouTube too. Just go look him up.
She also says blueberries are really, really good for us, especially homegrown.
They are.
He did a thing. Even the frozen blueberries are good. And he was talking, they did a study where they gave people a placebo and then the other ones, the real blueberries, and they didn't change anything for them losing weight. And the people that did the like a half a cup of blueberries, I can't remember the actual amount, something like that, and they ate the blueberries, and the people that didn't, they lost 8 more pounds just from doing the blueberries. So I thought that was cool. But he's got a book, I forgot the name of it, but look up Dr. William Li. He's got a lot of really good stuff that you guys could glean a lot from. I mean, I'm all about, don't get all your information from one person. Get information for a lot of different people. Who are we listening to who said he was getting 3 books? Remember? He got 3 books.
Oh, that was Tom Massey. Tom Massey is in the Senate. You know, he's in the Congress there, and he says that when he was asked, how did you learn about plumbing? And he said, well, I got 3 books. And he says, well, why did you get 3 books? He said, well, one book's going to give you some information, and then you're going to have some questions, and maybe it's not good. So you get another book, and it refutes that guy's information, but gives you some more information. And then you get a third book, because that'll have probably both of their information, and it'll probably be the information you can lead on.
You can decide.
And then you lead on all 3, and then that's
it's sort of the same thing. Get a second and third opinion if you have to go to the doctor, because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
That's right.
So it's sort of like that. So if you learn something, just keep searching and looking and all that.
I hate to say that, used to be colleges. Remember, colleges used to be the place to go take debate, that we could have the great debate on all these things. But now it's just a mushhead factory farm.
So here, the other thing is cocoa is high. It has something in it that it's a type of polyphenol that can reduce the cadmium absorption. So, you know, that's what's kind of cool. You get these studies, sometimes they're one-sided, saying that are high in this, but the chocolate has something in it that will help reduce the absorption. So do your research on all the stuff we're bringing you. I just thought it was cool, because who doesn't like chocolate? I think it's just kind of cool. Just don't eat, you know, like 5, you know, candy bars at a time. Make sure you're getting them from a good source. All right.
And life is good. You don't need all that other stuff. That's why they wanted to. Doesn't it make sense now why they want to take over the healthcare in America? Psst. Are you tracking? It's not actually because they care about you.
Now, also, we were talking early on and talking about the oxalates. A chocolate does have oxalates in them. So if you are sensitive to oxalates, you got to understand you're not going to really be able to be doing a lot of chocolate. Some people are sensitive to chocolate. So if they eat it, I know some people can get nauseous from it, or they may not feel right. You know, don't eat it if you're like that. Or it's something that you don't want to do, you know, gobs and gobs. Just always remember things in moderation. If it's something that really doesn't bother you, you know, just listen to your body. All right. What else is going on?
You do not shake up or stir your fermented drink. Okay, when you guys go to drink that stuff and everything, that stuff on the bottom floating around, that's all the good stuff. It's the mother, it's the bacterial stuff, it's the microbiomes that your belly needs.
Murray says Dr. Li died.
What?
Was it just like recently?
Dr. Lee dead. That's the wrong doctor. That's Bruce Lee, bro. That's Bruce Lee.
Check and see.
We just want no.
Yeah. Unless it was within the past few months. Did we miss him?
You know, there's probably a lot of Dr. Lees. Yeah, there's probably a lot of Dr. Lees. All right. Eat to Beat Disease.
That's the name of his book, isn't it?
Yes.
Eat to Beat Disease, Dr. Li.
William W. Lee. Okay? I don't think he's passed on, y'all. Otherwise,
I would have been a little suspect if that happened.
Oh my gosh, right?
Someone's after him then. If that happens, there is.
William Lee, Health and Wellness. He is alive and kicking with free audiobooks. All right. Trust but verify.
Oh, yeah. Jasmine Joplin. The Health Ranger store, he'll have some good.
He has good
cacao.
stuff, everything.
Just all his stuff he does have really good, and he checks everything for the heavy metals.
Yes.
And if you want a really good book that goes into like the stuff that's in your food, he's got Mike Adams wrote a book called Food Forensics.
Yes.
That's really, really good too, and it goes over the food and what's in it and all that kind of stuff and gives you all the examples. So I like that one too.
And also the best one that we really like, because of course, I'm super biased, is the tea from the Missouri Tea Company. Here, you want to sell it?
Smell it?
Smell it? I want to sell it. There it is right there. 100% cacao shells, properly sourced. Stacy and I have been drinking it for a couple years now. It has worked wonders for us.
More than
Makes
a
us
couple.
alive and vibrant.
Yeah.
And I start my day with it. Not
He
every
can't-
day.
No, he has to have it. You have to have your chocolate chip.
I do like it.
He loves it. He has to
especially
have
in the
it.
winter, and it's good any time really. And I've heard some people put it on the cold. You could drip that over some ice cubes, so that was pretty sassy too. All right,
Oh,
we're 29
Deborah.
minutes in. It's 5 minutes to 8.
Deborah says she mixes organic cacao powder with cayenne pepper and cinnamon. Ooh,
Sassy.
Deborah. That does sound kind of good, actually. You know, they do mix, you know, these candy bars you can get with some crazy stuff. They have cayenne. They have different candy bars that have hot peppers in them. And actually, I thought, but they're really not that bad. So that probably would be good. Deborah,
Okay.
good job.
So we learned that the good stuff in the cacao, okay, outweighs the bad stuff, especially if you get it from a good source. And, you know, we gave you guys a list and tried to help you along there. So that's really important. And also, your body wants to heal itself with the proper inputs. So if you guys are eating processed food all the time or fried food all the time, I see some of y'all out there sometimes. You post your pictures on Facebook and Instagram. I'm calling you out, right? Everything's fried on the table, and you say, hey, y'all, get away from the fried foods. Get away from the processed foods. Eat close to the root as you can. Get that red meat going. If you want to do chicken, that's fine. Try to raise your own or get it from a really good source. The better food that you put in this machine that the Father gave you to look over after while you're here, right? It's supposed to be a temple, right? Don't get me started with pigs and stuff, but it's supposed to be a temple. So if you guys start putting in the proper inputs, it is going to make a big difference in your life. Plus, getting out in the sun, drinking some good water that's structured and all these things go together. And that's why, honestly, making the move from city life to off-grid life and all this agrarian lifestyle that Stacy and I have been living, man, it has improved our health. 10x, 100x. How much X?
Yeah, more than that.
More than that X?
Oh, yeah, because it's just crazy. Like, you know, the more you kind of get out of what's going on, you know, and knowing a little bit more about your food and preparing your own food, not going out and eating, you know, the food tastes better because you're using, you know, real butter or ghee, or if you're using your coconut oil and you're using fresh herbs, or herbs maybe that you grew in a pot, you know, and you dried and they're your herbs. Because you got to also look at the energetic principles of the food that you're eating or where you're getting it from. Trying to get it as close to home as possible. If you're not growing it yourself, you know, getting it from a farmer or from a farmer's market that's close by. It's going to have much more energetic properties to it to help you just in your body with the nutrition and all that. And it just changes so much how you feel. You'll notice things. I mean, literally listen to your body. If you eat something and within a few minutes or 45 minutes or an hour, if you start getting gassy or bloaty, you know, look and see what's going on. That's just not because you can't eat something. It could be something that you ate had some type of additive in it or a filler, or it was a processed food, or maybe you were drinking a lot of water with your meal, or you're especially ice cold water. Like, we're going places here. I'm seeing all these people at this restaurants. They're like, they always come up and ask us for water. You know, do you want your water? Everyone's drinking ice cold water, cup after cup. That is the worst thing for your digestion.
And that's fluoridated tap water that they had going out of the tap too.
And then the thing is, I was talking to Doug today. I'm like, people are going out and eating. And so a lot of you guys know that we're supposed to have, you know, clean water. You're trying to do the best at your house. And then you go to a restaurant and you're drinking that water, the fluoridated water, because we just don't think about it sometimes. So think about and ask questions when you're going out and eating, you know, like, is this filtered water?
We do ask that every time. And if they say no, then we ask them if they have any bottled water like Pellegrino or
that's sparkling water.
What's your stuff you like?
Yeah, Pellegrino.
Yeah, Pellegrino.
Or just any kind of bottled water. Then they usually have it in the glass bottle if you go to, you know, restaurant.
We had that the other night when we asked for it.
Yeah, so he got a little bottle of.
Ask him if they cook in real butter. Like, can you have your food cooked in real butter? If you go and have an omelet somewhere, to ask them, you want cracked eggs? Like, these little bitty changes can really add up, you guys. I need cracked eggs, and not the, you know, they won't pour them out for you.
Most at the restaurants, just remember when you go, even a nice restaurant for breakfast, they have the bags or the boxes that are mixed with just the eggs, and they put all this other stuff in it, like preservatives and additives. So make sure you go to a restaurant that has real cracked eggs in it. And the other thing you can also do to be a little safer is, ask for like a poached egg, because that's going to be in water. So little things like that can make a huge, huge difference.
And then also you have like your salads and stuff, like Stacy, we don't want to get any spinach or kale salads when we're out now because of all this
the high pesticides, because they're up there in the top, the dirty dozen. Your kale's number 3 and spinach is number 2. So you really have to look out for certain foods that, I definitely, if I'm going to get something, I'll always get that organic. So just, if you've probably heard this from me a million times, but if you want to check the pesticide load, you can go to the Dirty Dozen from EWG, Environmental Working Group, EWG.org, and it'll have all the information. You can look all the things, the top 12 produce things you buy that are really high in pesticide loads, and then it'll also give you the clean 15 that if you don't buy organic, this one will be a little less pesticide load. And just remember with your produce that you are washing it, please. Baking soda and water works great with your produce.
Or apple cider vinegar.
Or by itself. Yeah, do apple cider vinegar by itself.
Make it yourself. You guys can make your own apple cider vinegar. Pretty soon apple season will be here.
But I'm going to stop you.
Guys how to do it.
Yes, you can learn apple cider vinegar, but if you want to get more pesticides off, baking soda by itself is better.
And there's foam on your fermented cabbage, okay? It depends if it's white, kind of foamy stuff. That's probably the chyme yeast. You could tell them about that.
So if you have foam on it and it's pretty foamy, you can just scoop it up and see how it looks.
Don't mix it in.
It happens. It's starting to ferment, so it might be fine. And you can just take some of the foam off. That's usually what I do. Because sometimes if the foam keeps going, it's going to get up there with the oxygen and it might get something on it. So go ahead and just wipe it off. And if you need to add more water, I just sprinkle a little salt on top and pour some filtered water on top so it stays covered and it'll be fine.
And salt's great, y'all, as long as you get it from our link at Redmond Salt. Right here, I'm dropping the link again at Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. Then hit the shop tab. It saves you money. And you guys can get some really good salt that's never seen plastics. It's from the earth, way down deep in. Me and Stacy have been deep down in that earth where that salt was. And I'm telling you, it has never seen plastics in its life, right? So it's mine. It's a really good company. It's from Utah, and we've been using it for years now. And you can also, again, feel and tell that the results are there. Like our skin is better. You feel better when you eat it. You're not, blowing up or anything like that, okay?
Valerie says that she wants to compliment that it's very nice and clear video tonight. Why is that?
Well, we're probably, we're not out in the boonies at our house like we normally are.
But we're out in the boonies.
Kind of, but we're close to Glenwood, Colorado. So if y'all are around Glenwood, Colorado, and you want to meet up before we get out of here in the morning for some breakfast, hit me up on an email right here at the email in the description, and we can meet you guys and go to breakfast. We tried this the other day. We had a really nice couple show up and we had a nice meal with them, and so we're trying to do that as we travel. We thought, well, heck, we're just trying to meet up with the people that are in the area on the quick drop down notice. So there you go. So email me and put breakfast Colorado, and then we'll see what happens. But we're gonna roll right now. We got to go.
Oh, Kim says she loves the chocolate tea with a little sprig of mint and maple syrup.
Love it.
I love chocolate and mint go good. I made some mint extract, and you put a little bit of that in there, and it's really good too.
You can put your used chocolate hulls that you get from us after you make your tea into your compost bin. It makes for great compost. You can actually just put it out on your garden. You can put it around your plants that you like.
Because it's got magnesium too.
Yes,
your
it's very
plants
good.
need magnesium and all those other little things that it has inside
What a good
too.
natural source of magnesium.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about that. Y'all, all this stuff, let food be your medicine. Who is Hippocrates? I don't even know if he believed in the Bible that you guys believe in. But he said, let food be your medicine. And let medicine be thy food. Right? That guy wasn't even, I don't even think he liked the Bible. And even your own scriptures are telling you guys that everything is created for you to take advantage of, to use while you're here. Okay? Don't fail the test. That's all.
Yep, I'm just trying to see here.
We're blowing out, just like the
today?
wind. It's 38 minutes in, man. We have to go tonight. We're hitting hot and heavy. Bam! We gave you the information. You guys go look up Dr. William Lee, L.I. Go do your homework. Try to find the best little chocolate that you can. Teach your grandkids and your kids this information. This is the problem. No one's sharing this good information, and we all just looking at the TV, and then the TV's telling you the bad information. The TV is psyops, y'all. Okay? All right. And try fasting, y'all. You know, intermittent fasting is very, very good for you. You do not need food in your face all of the time, unless you're doing a lot of work, because that's what food's for. We're hunters and gatherers. All right. We got to go already, y'all. We got to go. We'll see you guys Wednesday night at the university, in case you guys are members there. If you're not, you could also go to offgridwithdougandstacy.com. Join the university, where we have a little different kind of a setup, where we're teaching you guys stuff, talking about even security and other things that we can't really talk about on this social media. And it's really a great place for community. We have a lot of great folks there posting pictures, sharing their journey. We have a really good community, actually. And so that's really cool too. But what I was going to say, we're going to be doing, was it bug out bag?
We're making emergency
Kind of emergency
it's
gear.
emergency, not
You know, there's
bug-out
something
bag.
you should keep in your truck or car or something in your RV, because stuff's always going to be happening, and we want you to be prepared and not have to run off to somewhere and trust a total stranger unless it's totally necessary. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Last week we made kombucha, so they're 7 days in on that. So
Almost.
how's that looking?
No, Wednesday it'll be 7 days.
Yep. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, right? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that's going good. You should just be watching it do its thing.
And then Miracle Force says someone gave me a dozen bars of green and black organic dark chocolate, 70%. That was the one that was really high. And
Right. No wonder they gave them to you.
Yeah. No wonder why.
They might have seen a Dr. Lee video or something. Y'all, seriously, we're just trying to help humanity, man. We love you guys. We've developed such a great, community here on YouTube. I like this platform, and I just hope that everything, we don't care about none of the political stuff and all the stuff they're trying to do with hiding people. You guys all heard the stories. They actually conspired with the government to keep information, especially about COVID, out of your ears. We got smacked around, demonetized, videos deleted, and many other people lost their whole platform. And this is the truth, okay? Because they're trying to control the narrative on every single thing, right? So we're just trying to help you guys along. That's it. Because I know, man, we're going to be accountable for this stuff. And then he's going to be like, well, why were you just entertaining them? Why were you just doing your normal stuff when all this stuff was going on and you were learning and already knew and you were trying to tell people? Why wouldn't you tell them? Right? Why did you keep quiet? It's like being in Rome. Remember in Rome? Rome was falling down, collapsing, burning down, and everyone's just going to the theater, to watch the, gladiators and stuff, right? That's why they built that stuff. And I did a good job tonight, not interrupting Stacy. I tried really hard. We're married. We don't sit down and script this stuff. Last week we just jumped right in. We were running late already too. So, and I'm fired up sometimes about the topics, and maybe she drifts a little bit. So I try really hard. There's no disrespect here. She knows I would, die for her. I mean, we love each other very, very much. So just so you busybodies know.
And Lorena Collins says, why can't I quit smoking? I tried pretty much everything.
Because you tried. Quit trying. Trying is dying. You either make the decision and do it, or you don't. This is the problem, right? Do it and just do it.
And then, Lorena, here's your other thing you can do.
Do it.
You can start rolling your own and just buying straight tobacco.
Yes.
And rolling your own.
Remember, back in the day, like tobacco
because then
was
you
good.
you won't have all the chemicals. It's just going to be tobacco. And actually, we shouldn't get into tobacco. There is a lot of
that's a whole other video
about people who smoke tobacco. The tobacco prevented the COV,
the COVID. And that's only because too, like, we're not talking about the modern day chemical cigarettes. That's what you guys got to remember, right? Like they've gone and, I'm going to say, bastardized everything that was old and good. Like, don't eat oats. Somebody kept asking about eating oats and stuff. Like, we're learning about that stuff. It tears the lining in your stomach. It's not really good for you.
Well, my reason is now it's really so high in
glyphosate. And even if they're organic, they can actually spray them after they bring them out of the field to help them dry.
So that's why I have bags and bags and bags and bags of organic oats, and I have really cut back on those. So, but there's so much other things that I can eat. So, I kind of mix it up.
And Stacy will not take her hat off no matter how much you ask. It's just not what she's
I will.
gonna
One
do.
of these days, maybe I will. It'll be a big surprise.
The
Hey.
big surprise. All right, you guys, seriously, we really appreciate you guys taking time out of your life and everything to hang out with us. And hopefully the information we're providing for you guys is valuable and that you can share with your friends and that you could, just hear something in your ears that could spark something and that you could learn something new about something. That's the best. We will never tell you what to think, but we will give you plenty to think about, right? So check us out at the Missouri Tea Company or offgridwithdougandstacy.com in the shop tab.
And then I also want to address one more thing.
One more thing.
Somebody was talking about, I can't see who it was.
Somebody.
It does have something in called theobromine.
Yes.
And it also, some people I know are affected if you eat a lot, like if you had a whole bunch of it, it might make your heart rate go up. Some people are very sensitive. If you add half of a candy bar, maybe it'll make your heart race. Some people aren't affected by it at all. You just listen to your body. If something is messing with you, even if it's good for you and it makes you feel weird, then don't eat it. You know what I mean?
That's all.
It's just common sense. So that does happen. I know some people that get that too, for sure. And then Joey's on the 3rd week of fermenting apple cider vinegar. Doug doesn't have any hair. I have
don't
a lot
care
of hair.
about my hair.
You need
I
some
just
of
wear
my
my
hair.
hat all the time. We keep the sun off of the show. So we were around some people today. I was around up at the corner, like in town there, and the girl was like, "Yeah, it's so hot." She said, "I'm gonna have to pull over and put all the sunscreen on me and stuff." I said, "You're best off just putting on a long sleeve shirt, honey. Don't go lathering up with all that sunscreen." Y'all, we have been sold a bill of goods, and everything is to make you sick. Right? How come Biden was like the very last person in the polls in his last election? Remember that? And then all of a sudden, everyone just kind of dropped out and let it go. And all of a sudden, he was the top dog and won. Do you guys ever think about that? I got a Fink video coming up. Fink is the runner of BlackRock. And man, you guys don't understand the amount of smackdown we are going through right now. But I'm trying to help you. All right, we'll see you guys on the next video. As always, the most capable hand is at the end of your wrist. See the students on Wednesday night, and if you guys are on our email list, I've been sending out emails on the regular. Okay,
He's been a good boy with that.
It's been almost every day now, almost every day, bro. So if you're not getting the emails, check your spam folder because again, Google has decided to hide our emails in your don't read this spam stuff. So a lot of people were finding them in there. So go find them and then tell Google you like these emails, and then you'll get them going forward. Okay.
Oh, I just see somebody asked a question about kombucha. How do you get the stuff at the bottom? So basically, if you want to, you can get the bottle and you can turn it a little bit. But honestly, when you pop it, it fizzes and all the stuff from the bottom will just come up.
Every time you tilt your cup to drink it, it's going to be swishing it around in there.
Like when you get it and you're ready, you could just kind of go like that.
Yeah.
And it'll go in there. And
I wouldn't even worry about it.
It'll fizz up.
Just pop it, drink it. Every time you tilt the glass, that stuff's going to be moving around.
Yeah, but once you turn it,
come on now.
It'll go to the top.
Come on now. All right, we'll see you guys maybe tomorrow, but for sure Tuesday. No, I think I'm doing it tomorrow.
You said you were doing it in the morning.
I'm doing it in the morning.
Yeah.
You guys are going to want to
He's going to get one in the morning.
In the morning.